What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to... It's Friday, James, and it's definitely Friday, isn't it?
100%. Just
Yeah,
about
welcome along.
100%, but it's Friday.
Are you like that on international breaks, James? You just don't know what's going on, don't know what day of the week it is, just count the days.
Ever since I left sixth form, I've been like that, just like, it's just another day in here. And usually I dictate it on when Liverpool are playing, so yeah, you're right. Like, if Liverpool are playing Saturday, it's a few days away from Saturday, so we're midweek. But when it comes to knowing the exact days, yeah, we've got a little bit of a problemo there, Craig. When it comes to
good. I'm glad I'm not on my own anyway. I'm glad everybody else's days.
And you've got the excuse. You've got the excuse of Father Time. I'm supposed to be in my prime, so to speak. But yeah, I'm still forgetting.
That's true. Yeah, I'm running out of space in my head to remember the days of the week. You know, there's only so many facts, figures, and statistics you can remember. Days of the week aren't that important. It's either Liverpool are playing or they're not playing. You know what I mean? That's how it is.
We have to remember a lot for this job, so you give us cut us a little bit of slack, please, people. It'd be much appreciated.
I thought we'd have a bit of fun tonight. Look, I'll do the obligatory fantastic Manscaped ad read in a second. We'll gloss and talk about Hendo's amazing goal. We'll have a bit of fun, do a few Q&As, talk waffle. But, James, got to start off with Manscaped, mate. Got to start off with the Christmas goodies. Do you know what I mean? You know, we're probably wondering why we're a little bit late. I like to think that it was because James was, manscaping. I like it was his laptop.
How's it? It might have been the laptop, but I'd also like to suggest that it was because I was manscaping with the good old Manscaped.
There you go. See, look, it's not just old fogies like me that need to look after themselves. You youngsters up there, women these days, or men, a little bit more discerning when it comes to downstairs, and we can help you out with that, can't we, James?
Absolutely, and you know, in a world of confidence and in a world where you want to be looking neat and sound, Manscaped is the one for you.
You can't have the Liverpool players looking trimmed within an inch of their life and then us letting them down as fans. You know what I mean? We've got to make sure that we look after our own pitches, and there's no better way to do that. By checking out manscaped.com and using our discount code WFM20. James was thinking I was going to put him on the spot again there. Look, I could see it in his eye. I could see it in the eye.
But I was ready for it though, Craig. I'm ready for this shit now, baby. Why do you call me the postman?
Because you always deliver, pal.
Because I always deliver.
WFM20, ladies and gentlemen, manscaped.com. 2 new products, 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, and also body wash infused with aloe vera and sea salt. Just when you thought you had enough aloe vera in your life, no. Good folks at Manscaped have got you sorted. Don't forget, get your Christmas orders in. 20% off and free delivery. James, I thought we'd crack on tonight with giving the people what they want, as me and you keep saying to each other when we're having messages back and forth. Bit of an announcement. Bit of an announcement for the channel. Myself and James have been talking over the last few days, and we thought, you know what the world needs? More of me and James. I think that's what the world needs, James.
Yeah. Well, we need to make the world a better place, don't we, Craig? In a world where we've just lost to West Ham, I think we need to give the Liverpool audience just a little bit of positivity. And I feel like when we get together, it's a dream tag team. It's like Rey Mysterio and Batista. It's perfect, works well, and that's why we've got to agree to it, you know what I mean? Plus, I love coming on the channel, Craig, you know, all jokes aside, mate. I love, you know, we've been doing, collaborations for a few weeks now. Feel like they've gone very, very well. I'm obviously glad to know that you've thought the same, and it's boss to be coming on the channel. It's great to make a little appearance tonight. What a way to end a great week. Do you know what I mean? Right. What a lovely way to start my weekend by coming on the good old Anfield agenda with one of the greatest communities on YouTube, a community that's welcomed me massively on the channel. And I really, really appreciate it. So, no, lads, looking forward to coming on and doing more shows. It's my pleasure.
Just in your little analogy there, I have to be Batista, by the way, because my missus has some lady wood for Batista. So if that's all right, you can be Rey Mysterio. You can practice the 619s.
I love Rey Mysterio, so yeah, that's fine with me.
You can go 619. I'll remove one of those numbers from the middle of that and work off those 2 numbers, mate, if that's all right with the good self, with the missus thinking I'm Dave Batista, which I clearly haven't, but look, Joe, I'm some of the way there.
Doing Batista bombs all around the bedroom then, Craig?
Absolutely, pal. Look, basically, where we're going with this is James is now going to be doubling the content output on Anfield agenda. We have signed, unlike Michael Edwards, unlike Liverpool, we know a talent when we have our hands, ladies and gentlemen, and we've signed Mr. James Redmond up to double the amount of content on Anfield agenda because we enjoy buzzing off each other. We enjoy working together, and I think James has been a great addition to the channel, and we want to help James become the superstar that, look, we know he's going to be.
That's really nice of you, Craig. Do you know what I mean? Making me feel like a
guy.
superstar already. Nah, you're all lad, you're fucking sound, and everything that you've done for me to this point is massively appreciated, and I'm looking forward to doing more content because it's actually the one thing that I look forward to doing. I love doing content on my own channel as well, but I've said it to you, like everything external, when it comes to the YouTube stuff, like the editing and the tagging and stuff like that, that's stuff that I don't enjoy as much. I love just being on camera, hopefully, or maybe not, entertaining the masses, and just talking about Liverpool, literally what is the better to do with the Liverpool fan base. So, no lads, I'm absolutely buzzing, and thank you for getting us on once more.
It's been a pleasure, mate. And look, we all need one of those Conor Crosbys in our life to do all the hard work. Because I keep saying, we have the easy stuff.
I call him the silent assassin for a reason. He's moving dangerous, but he does it discreet.
I'll tell you what, if you look at the group of people that we're fortunate enough to have together, James, myself, Paddy, Chris, Kyle, Jack, Steve.
It's a dangerous combination, lads.
It is wicked, isn't it? I'm absolutely loving life at the minute. It's
shows that we do on a Monday and a Thursday, every single time, whether it's with Jack or with someone else, it's always a banger. So even Steve, you know I love Steve. He's become one of my best mates since I've started doing this channel. So I'm even making friends out of it. You gotta love it. You gotta love Blandy.
I mean, you want to brag, I should say, about. I haven't seen it, so I'll let you discuss it. Jordan Henderson tonight doing bits for England.
Jordan Hendo doing what he does best. Listen, who's more reliable than Jordan Hendo besides maybe Manscaped? Do you know when you talk about just as reliable, he's just good at everything. And even, well, I think that's now his second goal for England, which I'm sure he would have wanted a slightly higher output than that with the fact he's played 68 games. That being said, better late than never. But it doesn't matter if it's against Albania. It was a world-class goal, and it's what you like to see on the international break. It's better than seeing injury news, you know what I mean? It's better than waking up in the morning, touch wood, and seeing Jordan Henderson injured. So I'm made up, lads, to see that one of our boys gets on the score sheet. Especially with the fact, in comparison to years ago, we used to have quite a few players in that England squad, whereas now Henderson seems to be the mainstay.
So you're a born and bred Scouser. Do you give a fuck about international football? No, I really don't care that much.
I don't care as nowhere near as much as I do about Liverpool. Like, if Liverpool lose, I'm losing me weekend. Like, the weekend's gone. I'm devastated. I'm near enough to press. Like, you might need to send me a message just in case. Otherwise, if England lose, it is what it is. Like, even when we lost the Euro, I was more upset about us losing to West Ham than England losing the Euros in the final. But the reason why I don't mind England is literally for the day out and the fact you can meet up with your mates and watch the game. Otherwise, like, I don't support the English institution. I mainly just want the players to do well. So, yeah, not really a big England supporter. And that's a common theme in Liverpool, to be fair.
For me, I think what you touched on there is right. If there's a sense of national pride and the team is doing well, you know, I remember Italia 90 in Ireland. It was the best time of my life, mate. It made me really fall in love with football. I was only 8 years of age at the time, and it was amazing. The sense of pride that we felt was unbelievable. But since then, I've never really connected with it in the same way, and it's probably because we haven't had too much success. So, actually, when we're talking about institutions and stuff like that, I want to just quickly turn everyone's attention to what our gaffer had to say again. And I'm going to pull up the exact quote because I don't want to butcher it, because I'm forever getting these things wrong. So let me just scroll back up. Connor sent it to me earlier on. Where is it? Here it is. So he said, why do we let people like Boris Johnson lead any kind of group of people in any direction? I love that from the gaffer. That's one of the things. Look, they often say, you know, don't bring politics into sport. But I think what people don't understand, maybe from outside of Liverpool, and I like to think of a little good read on this, is that Liverpool is a very socialist, look after each other, salt of the earth group of people, and Klopp gets it, James. Klopp gets it. He gets the Scousers. He gets the people of Liverpool. And I fucking love seeing him come out with stuff like that. I do. He's calling people's bluff.
And that's why Jurgen Klopp, you know what, whether you agree or disagree with everything you say, he's hit the nail on the head on this one. And again, it's a matter of opinion. You know, you'll have people across the country who support Boris and whatnot. I'm not a big politics man, but Boris Johnson, he's a load of shite. Yeah, let's just be dead real. And the fact that there is people like him who can run the country, and even in other countries where there's crazy people who can run them, it just shows the world that we live in. And I think, the world should be a place where you can be a little bit more free in your speech in terms of your opinion. And if he believes that, then he should have every right as the Liverpool manager in the position that he is, representing the people that he's representing, to back them. And that's what Jurgen Klopp kind of is. He's the he's the rebel, but he's the person that will back his own first. He cares about his own first. And that's the one thing I admire about Jurgen Klopp immensely. And it's why I love him, because even ever since he's joined Liverpool, even outside of politics, he doesn't care about what the media think about him. He really, really doesn't. He probably doesn't care about what most Liverpool fans do, but he understands the people of Liverpool, hence why he joined Liverpool Football Club. He never just joined us because it was a good paid opportunity and there's an opportunity for him to boost his managerial career. He joined because all the puzzles fit in the right place, from the people to the way the club was going to be run. They were going to give him the right backing, all these things and more. That's why it's a match made in heaven with Jurgen, and it's why, you talk about the legends and the iconic figures through my lifetime and even yours. Jurgen Klopp is up there with the Steven Gerrards, he's up there with the Kenny Dalglish's, he's up there with the Ian Rushes. Not just because of what he does on the pitch, but the way he represents himself off the pitch with the passion, the emotion. He's the perfect gaffer in all aspects, and when he's calling out stuff like that, it's because he's backing his people. So whether you like it or you don't, you've got to respect that aspect.
Yeah, I think from the outside, I look at it as he's just a goddamn good human at the end of the day, and he cares. And that's important. That's important at a time where a lot of people feel like nobody's listening and nobody's caring. Last thing on this one, little bit of a shout out to Marcus Rashford, who picked up his MBE this week. Very proud moment for him.
Our boss. I was emotional seeing that, to be honest with you, because he is just a normal kid, lad. Like, these footballers, they get shot into this lifestyle and this, beam of light where everyone's watching them. And, like, even the Greenwood and Foden thing that you saw, like 2 years ago or something like that at the start of COVID, and they brought girls around and whatnot. Like, yeah, was it wrong? Yeah. But they're young, and it happens, and it's just like the amount of stick and criticism they both received for it was just wrong for me, because you've got to remember, the normal kids, regardless how much they're getting paid on a weekly basis. And then when you see people like Rashford, who's been nothing but a perfect example since he's entered the football game, it's nothing but deserved, and it would have been wrong if he didn't. Do you know what I mean? So I'm glad that he's getting that recognition, not just off the people, and because it's easy to say thank you when he's feeding your kids. Do you know what I mean? It's easy to be like, oh, thank you so much, like, we appreciate these free school meals. But it's good to see that he's getting a night dedicated to him, an award dedicated in his name, even though it is just a piece of metal. It's something to be like, do you know what? It's not just the people that appreciate you, the country does. So we need more people like him, don't we? We need more people out there fighting for the good causes. Just more people to step up in their public positions, because, just because you're a public figure doesn't mean you have to go ahead and do the things that Rashford does. And I'm sure there's a lot of footballers who do them things off, behind the scenes and don't want to make it public. Either way, if you can just do your part, whether that's publicly or not, you're still helping. And Marcus Rashford has been a huge help to this country, and I feel like he's gave people a massive different outlook, especially close-minded folks, more specifically racists, about, maybe you've just got a little bit wrong about judging people just based on the colour of their skin, because you can see a superhero over here who's doing great things that you could never even imagine.
Absolutely. And look, the media are very quick to vilify footballers, as we touched on, and I think it's only fair that when people go above and beyond, like Marcus Rashford could live a cushy life now, multi-millionaire, but he knows the feeling of coming home, looking in the presses. He knows the feeling of his mum being upset. You know what I mean? He's a real honest lad.
Do you know what I hate as well? I just really don't like it, and I get the pure intentions behind it, but when people go on Twitter and it's like, oh, rivalry aside, I think this is good. It's like, fuck off saying rivalry aside. Like, this is bigger than football. What Marcus Rashford does for this country is way bigger than football and rivalry. Do you know football? This is what I love about it. It's fantasy. You shouldn't actually hate a Manchester United fan, but when it comes to Liverpool versus Manchester United, best fucking believe we do not like you and you don't like us. It's mutual, but it's fun and it's fantasy, and it's the escape that we all want. But when you see these people who are there to entertain us week in, week out, working hard every single day to entertain us on a week-to-week basis, then going out their way to do things like that, it's magical, man. It really is. It's a beautiful thing. And in a world with so much shitness, so much hate, we receive it as content creators. It does show that there's a little bit of faith in humanity as well, and people like Rashford give me that faith, lad. So no, I love Marcus Rashford, and the only day of the 365 days that I want him to not have a good day is against the mighty Reds. Otherwise, mate, fair fucking play to him. I hope he has
absolutely
a successful life and successful career.
I always just think love always wins. That's simple as that. If you've got a good heart, a kind heart, and you shine that into the world, positive things will come back. And look, let's talk about some negative news. Unfortunately,
that was
Sadio.
A beautiful way to start the stream. No, that was
I love it. You know what? I do love it. I do love talking about stuff like that. Because
but anyway, enough of the soppy bullshit. Let's get into the main man.
Sadio.
Is he all right, Craig?
You know what? I'm getting mixed reviews, mate. I seen the manager last night. The Senegal manager said that it was something not to be too concerned about. But then, of course, Liverpool Twitter jump on it, mate. And within 2 minutes, he's gone from a little minor knock to, do you know what I mean? Being out for 6 years. If you listen to some people on Twitter, I don't think it's going to be that serious. But until we know the results of the scan, it looks like a potential rib injury. I hope it's nothing too serious, of course, because, we need Sadio. Because he's not too bad a footballer, James. I don't know if you've heard. He's not too bad.
He sounds, you know what I mean? That's devastating if he is out, because even if he misses the Arsenal game, that's a big miss. If you look at our next 10 fixtures, they're not really the toughest of fixtures. Obviously every game in the Premier League is tough, but I think the hardest game out of the next 10 that we need to win is the Arsenal game. You've got Porto and Milan in the Champions League, but again, that's the Champions League games. They're not necessarily must-wins.
Sorry, James, we should just explain to any Arsenal or Spurs fans what Champions League is. What happens when you do well in the league. Sorry, James.
Yes, so
there's a few people watching wouldn't know.
Yes, European football, a thing where the best in Europe decide to play each other, not the Conference League. Anyway, Arsenal will be in terms of on form, they're the most difficult team because, they've been on a good streak. We're playing them next. And then afterwards, we've got Spurs and Spurs and Leicester at the end of that 10, of our next 10 games. Otherwise, all the games are winnable. You don't want Mane to be missing against Arsenal, in my opinion, especially with the form that he's been in. I don't know the stats, but 7 goals, an assist in there as well. He looks like...
Remember his first goal against Arsenal when he signed for us? Absolute screamer.
Did he get 2 on that day? Or am I just thinking
I couldn't tell you, mate. You may have. I just remember the first one being a screamer.
We beat them 4-0, yeah, he cut inside on his left foot and it was a beautiful finish. But even though he had a bit of a stinker against West Ham, missed a few open chances, I think overall, if you conclude his whole season, he's been creating chances, he's been getting goals. He hasn't been efficient as Salah, for example, but who has? He's looking as close as he can to back to his best. So if he was injured, that'd be a huge shame. And let's just hope it's not too serious, because if there was any game in the next 10 that I really want Mane there for, it's 100% that Arsenal game, because we're going to need to break them down.
Something happened last night that made me think I wanted to... it was a bit of a late addition to add James into tonight's stream, because I had an idea. Last night I was doing a watch-along of the Ireland game. Very unfortunate not to be Portugal, by the way. Shout out to the lads, played brilliantly well.
It was 0-0, wasn't it?
It wasn't. We had a goal disallowed right at the end. More overprotection of a goalkeeper from Patricio. But I was enjoying the stream because I went off on a mad tangent and we were talking about waffle. And I love them. I find getting to know people is deadly. So I thought maybe for the last 20 minutes of this one, we'll get through all the Liverpool news. We'll just have a bit of a Q&A and have some fun and just waffle.
For that.
Because I love getting to know more about James. I love getting to know more about the people in the chat as well. And most importantly, I like getting to know what people's food habits are, because there's some weird people. There's weird people out there, James.
Food habits?
Yeah, I love talking about mad combos or what people like, don't like, stuff like this. They always turn into great conversations, I feel.
I'll be interested to see what people have got to say in the chat in terms of the scrams that they have shown. I'm looking forward to that.
Before we get to that, though, there is some Liverpool news to talk about. People are going to be tuning in, looking at the Adeyemi headline, wondering what's going on. I hate to say I told you so, but I have been saying for a rather long time that he's most likely going to end up in Germany. And today, another update from Germany suggests that Borussia Dortmund remain the most likely club for Karim Adeyemi to move next summer. Some of his teammates expect him to move to Dortmund. No big surprises there, James. I mean, maybe that it isn't Bayern Munich, but you can see the appeal of Dortmund to him, and you can see the appeal of him to Dortmund clearly.
No surprises for you, because you are the Mystic Mac and you predict these things, yeah? No, it was one of those things when you said it to me, because I thought it was a possibility that he could join Liverpool when the rumour started circulating in the summer and whatnot. But then when you explained it, the fact he'd want to go to Germany first, he is German at the end of the day. And also, regardless what team he plays for, maybe besides Bayern, but even Bayern Munich, I still think he could get a good, solid more amount of game time than what he would at Liverpool Football Club. And it would actually be, it's one of them. It could be like a Haaland, where in hindsight, and hindsight's always a beautiful thing, where he does boss, scores 20 goals, and then we wish that we bought him for the price that we did. But does he get the game time at Liverpool that he would at Dortmund? Most likely not. They've got a much better track record with bringing up the younger players. If I am Adeyemi and I am his agent, I am doing everything I can to get him to a Dortmund or a Leipzig or somewhere where he is going to get that game time. But if I had a number one choice out of Dortmund, Leipzig and Bayern Munich, and say Bayern Munich and Leipzig were offering me more money, I'd still say Dortmund, because you're going to be earning the big bucks in a few years, kid. And that's the one thing I would say to Adeyemi. Don't think about just now, think about getting into that team and what. But then if he says, oh, but I'm competing with Haaland, no, that's a good thing, because Haaland's a very good striker. He's most likely going to be one of the world's best. Dortmund will not just shun you out. If they're buying you for a reason. It's because they're looking on including you. They'll have in their mind that Haaland's going to be leaving soon. They're going to implement you into the squad over this season, and then next season, if you're good enough, which why would they buy you if you're not, then you're going to be the main man in that side. And I think that'd just be the perfect move for him. He's 19 years of age. His attributes, he's got all the perfect attributes to be a top-class striker. It's why I don't mind if Liverpool went out to signs him. In terms of young prospects of strikers with the value for money, he's probably up there on my list. But again, if I'm his agent and you're talking Bayern Munich, Liverpool and Dortmund would be my number one by far. The case study's there. Haaland went from Salzburg to Dortmund and smashed it and became a superstar, not just a world-class striker. A very similar feat could happen with Adeyemi. And if I'm him, that's the way I'm looking at it. So no, that'd make just perfect sense.
It's a beautiful little niche that they've carved out for themselves, isn't it? Because they were able to fight off the advances of United, as an example, for Jude Bellingham. And you spoke about Adeyemi possibly going there, Haaland, Daniel Malen, another one. I mean, and they get those youngsters and they sprinkle in a bit of experience, as an example. So they brought in Emre Can when he was leaving Juventus. They brought back Hummels. They just get it. You really have to respect it. They know they're not going to keep these kids for their entire careers, but they get 2-3 great years out of them, and that just keeps the circle moving.
Look at the track record that the club has. You're talking about buying Pulisic for however much they did and selling him for however much they... I don't know the exact figures, but the profit they made on the likes of Pulisic, Sancho, Ousmane Dembele, Aubameyang, superstars, players that have went on and done great things. The business and football is a business. I feel like a lot of people forget about this. For what Dortmund are given, because they're not Bayern Munich. They don't just get handed all the best players in the Bundesliga and they can form it together and make a super team. They are what they are. They're the feeding club in many senses to the richer teams, yet they still always find a way to come back. How do they do that time and time again, and how have they done that for a decade?
And they were very close to going under at one point. I remember we brought in somebody from Dortmund. Oh God, it wasn't Babel. Was it Babel? Maybe it was
Ryan
Babel. We brought somebody in Marcus Babel, going back way before your time. Way before your time, young man.
I'm on to Marcus Babel, but obviously not vivid memories of him, no.
They were in financial hardship at one point, very close to going under, and then boom, look where they are back now, right back, Champions League every single season, bringing through amazing players, playing in front of the yellow wall.
They compete. That's all you want as a football club. You want to compete, and I think the fans will be very understanding if you're a Dortmund fan that they don't win the league every year when you see Bayern Munich. Yet they're still in that conversation. Craig, someone asked me in my live stream before. I'd love to propose the question to you. If there was another team besides Liverpool that you kind of support. But like say in the Champions League, if Liverpool weren't to win the Champions League, who would you want them to win? I said Dortmund without even a hesitation.
It's always been Barcelona for me, mate. Always. First jersey I ever owned was a Barca shirt. Always. I'll tell you why. Like my old lad loved a holiday and a few gargles, but he was petrified of flying. So he'd always bring us to Santa Ponsa in Mallorca because it was a quick flight, cheap drink, cheap cigarettes, grand. But I always used to go over there, and I remember seeing all the Barca shirts, and my first shirt was a fake Barca shirt off one of the stalls, and I remember Antonio Zubizarreta, their goalkeeper, and I just fell in. Yeah, exactly. Fucking loads of them over the years. My young lads got loads of them as well. But yeah, that was it for me. It was Barcelona that made me first be really aware of football. That in Euro 88, not Italian 90 really hit home with me, but I just about remember that. And Barca was my first shirt. So I've always had an affinity towards Barca. But don't get me wrong, when we played Barca, fucking wanted us to murder them. But yeah, Barca for me, it's always been Barcelona outside of Liverpool. But you know what I've taken a liking to? Some of our subscribers who, as you said at the start of the video, know their shit and are top notch. Some Irish people said to me, have a little look into Rayo Vallecano, who are in La Liga at the minute, doing really well. But they're from a neighborhood called Vallecas, which is in Madrid, but it is a very small community club that does stuff in the right way. They've helped out in their community, massively paid people's rent, and they play with passion and they play for the club. And I'm hoping to get over in the new year, go to a game and maybe do a little mini documentary type thing on Rayo Vallecano. Actually, Radamel Falcao was there at the minute. He's there with them at the minute, but it's a wonderful story. I think Copa 90 did a really good little documentary on them as well. So I've always I love stories like that. You know, I love different clubs that are a little bit different, or the fans that go above and beyond. It's why I like Liverpool so much. It's one of the things that drew me to the club.
They're the clubs that give me, because I think when they do succeed, whether it's like top four, getting in the Champions League, winning a trophy, winning a League Cup, winning the Champions League, whatever it may be, getting to a Champions League semi, like even Sheriff this season in the Champions League, just doing amazing, beating Inter Milan, beating Real Madrid. Stories like that is stuff that I just absolutely love to see, and I think that's why Dortmund are maybe my favourite team, because I loved Dortmund even when they had Jurgen Klopp originally, and I've always loved this the thing as well. I've always loved Jurgen Klopp. I've always admired him as a coach, as a person. Even before he was speaking English on a week-to-week basis, and he was doing German interviews, I just loved his passion, everything that you want in a Liverpool manager, and I just think that's why growing up as a Liverpool fan and the morals that's kind of just naturally instilled into you as a Scouser, as a Liverpool fan. That's why it was just a match made in heaven, and that's even since I've always just rated Dortmund for that reason. They're an exciting team, they're the underdogs, I love an underdog factor. And yeah, speaking of Barca, see the way they've signed Dani Alves? Or re-signed Dani Alves?
I remember... another thing about Dortmund, really quick. Actually, let me bring this up, then we'll go back to our conversation. We'll kick this off in about 15-20 minutes. But Jeff said, I like Cocoa Pops with salt and vinegar in the chocolate milk. Love you, Craig James. Everyone in the chat. That's up there, Jeff. Man. That's up there.
Hey, in terms of crazy combos, that might be more crazy than the friggin', I don't know, Mamadou Sakho saying Liverpool country. That's a mad combination. Well, fair play.
Yeah, that's a belter, mate. I mean... Look, you don't know till you try it. But back to the Dortmund thing and the Barca thing. Dortmund also play You Never Walk Alone, which is another great reason, of course, to love them.
Yeah, of course. Forgot about that.
At Barca, yeah. So I remember reading, I didn't know that he had gone back, but I remember reading an article a while ago. He was playing in Brazil, I think, and his contract was cancelled, or he walked away from his contract. And I remember him saying, if Barca need me, I'll come back and play for free. I remember
he's playing for Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo, he was... Well, I saw something before that he's going to be... Because you've got to get paid if you're on a contract.
It's illegal.
€1.
Yeah, it's illegal.
Yeah, €1 a week is what he's going to be taking if he joined... is what his contract is rumoured to be. Which, if so, fair play. I'm sure he's got more than enough money. He's got more than enough trophies. So even the fact that he's probably not going to be getting any trophies this time round... But it is still questionable. He might still be a very good right-back, and I just don't know about it, but... Very, very weird move. It just seems that they're trying to go down the nostalgic route a bit too much. Even with Xavi, I'm not saying he can't be a good coach. I'm sure you can't knock it till you try it. Just like the salt and vinegar with the chocolate and all that nonsense. whatever you want. But if I'm a Barcelona fan, these moves don't necessarily fill me with too much confidence. Like, what's next? Samuel Eto'o and Thierry Henry? Let's not. Let's not do any of that. So, we'll see how it goes. But, like I said, he might still be a fucking quality right-back. Dani Alves, he's just one of them generational talents where he could just still have it in him at 40. There's Zlatan Ibrahimovic of right-backs.
I remember saying to you the other day, I think that I can see Barcelona as a potential destination for Michael Edwards, because if you look at the project, so Xavi Hernandez back in there as manager, and they've been rumoured to be in for Raheem Sterling in the January market as well. I've seen that confirmed again today that the interest is there. I don't know how they pay for it, but so you've got Xavi there, you've got a rebuild going on at Barcelona, some exciting youth prospects in Ansu Fati, Pedri, and Moriba, and many others that are there as well. And then you bring back maybe Alves.
They've signed long-term contracts, don't they? Haven't they, Fati and Pedri? I swear they've signed long-term contracts.
With €1 billion buyout clause in them.
With
billion.
A B.
Yeah, €1 billion. Like, imagine the swagger you'd have as a young fella signing that contract with £1 billion buyout clause. Manscaped wouldn't even be able to shave my nuts, mate. They'd be so big.
That's what I was going to say. Your bollocks would be so big that I don't even know if Manscaped could do that job. Nah, Pedri's smashing it, lads. Do you know what I mean? He can just go up to a missus and be like, listen, have you ever been with someone that's worth $1 billion? Don't think you'd have. He's 18.
Yeah,
he's literally 8. He's just left school or whatever. Like, joke. And he's such a good player. Shouldn't be worth $1 billion, but he is such a good player. Maybe you're right when it comes to the Michael Edwards stuff, Craig. And by the way, I love these segues that we're going down, going from salt and vinegar to Barcelona to Dortmund. Like, I love it.
I'm working on something here as well. Don't worry, I'll be segueing off in a second into something else.
While I'm finishing this point, you can do that. Michael Edwards to Barcelona. I don't see it happening because I think Michael Edwards is someone who wants to go to a project where it makes sense, and I think Barcelona, they're just in that much of a mess where why is Edwards going to go into a room and clean up a mess that he never even created? I think he's going to go somewhere where there's a foundation that he can build on and bring a club back to where he was, a Juventus, a Real Madrid, where the situation just isn't as bad there as it is at Barcelona. Again, it just seems like a bit of a freak show to me, and hindsight can be a beautiful thing, and Barcelona could end up being boss, but I just don't see it happening. Obviously as well, shout out to Sergio Aguero. News breaking today that his career could be basically finished. And when you talk about Sergio Aguero, you don't need me to mention 5 Premier League titles. You don't need me to mention however many Premier League goals. One of the, if not the greatest Premier League striker of all time, when you include longevity in there as well. Even when he weren't doing the bits at the end of Man City, he'd still come into a game and he'd pop up with goals. He could have finished his career 5 years ago, Craig, and he would have been a Premier League legend. So, as unfortunate as it is, as I would have liked to see him kick on in La Liga and help Barcelona, what a career, and I really do send him my best wishes, as I'm sure that you do as well.
Oh, absolutely, and it must have been tough for him as well, because he went there obviously to hook up with his mate Leo, and he then went off to PSG, and they could have done with Sergio Aguero, of course, as you said, one of the most natural, prolific goal scorers that's ever graced the Premier League, and health is the most important thing, so fingers crossed, his health is looked after, and that's the most important thing.
Before anything. Yeah,
absolutely. On the Barca stuff, though, I don't know. I look at it, if I was Michael Edwards and they are interested in him, I'd look at it and I see Xavi, and the difference with Barca, mate, and the likes of Real Madrid, or well, maybe not Real Madrid as much, but Barca are run by socios, so they're all members of Barcelona Football Club, and they own the club. It's owned by the members. So they have to vote on presidents and stuff like that, which is why you see all these mad elections and things. But I don't know. I think I'd love that project. I could see why it appealed to Xavi, because if he gets it right, if he can get Barca back up top of the Spanish league in a couple of years, challenging in Europe, he's already a god. He's going to be...
It's a big if.
It is a big
if. And
it's a huge if.
I don't do if buts or maybe. So that's why, like, if I was a Barca fan, which I'm absolutely not, you've just let me know that that's like basically your second team. Honestly, Craig, like, it would not fill me with confidence. It'll be beautiful if it works. It'll be a phenomenal story. But I just think when you compare the situation of Barca in comparison to other teams in that league, even look at is it Valencia who are top of the league at the moment, or who's the team that's top? There's someone who's top that's not Real Madrid, I believe. They're having a good season. Real Sociedad.
Oh, Sociedad. Sorry, I was reading the chat. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, sorry. The one that Isaac plays for, Real Sociedad, like other teams are building up, kind of like the Premier League. You see Leicester, West Ham, these type of teams, Newcastle in long term. Barcelona have just caused that much shit to themselves where it's a big ask to try and climb out of that hole. That being said, if there was a fit for Barcelona, I'm not saying this is the best for Michael Edwards, but for Barcelona, that would be the perfect man to get in your job. The next few seasons, you can't be going out and spending £1 billion a week or £1 million a week on player wages, and you can't be going out and spending £100 million transfer fees like Coutinho and Ousmane Dembele. You've got to be more strategic and you've got to be smarter with your approach. Michael Edwards is the perfect man. He is Mr. Strategic. He is Mr. Smart. He is Mr. Invincible. And I think he's proven that at Liverpool, that he's done wonders. He's built a Champions League - Premier League winning squad. A squad that achieved 97 and 99 points back to back. So if he can do that for Barcelona, and with a mixture of a good coach, then yeah, why not?
Here's the segue that I was going to make. So Barcelona, Champions League, Super League, back to Liverpool fans. Here we go. So a report has come out today in the Mail that suggests that Liverpool supporters have insisted on a clause in a draft contract with the club on fan engagement, which effectively gives them a veto over any future involvement in the European Super League. I'm absolutely loving that if they can get that through, James. I'm loving it.
What? So explain it, because for stupid people like me, explain.
We know the way the club have said they're going to engage with the fans and give them meaningful conversation and meaningful input into the future of the club.
Yep.
Liverpool fans, as clever as they are, and look, we've seen how clever Liverpool fans are when they got together to get rid of Hicks and Gillette and numerous other things.
We're
Liverpool
no sausages,
fans,
lad. We're no sausages.
For fuck it. There isn't a plane in the sky, mate, that hasn't been tracked. You know what I mean? They know everything. They're brilliant. So, in their intelligence, yet again, Liverpool supporters, groups like Spirit of Shankly and the like have put together a clause that they would like inserted in any contract that the club gave, which basically said if the club tried to sign up to a Super League again, the fans can veto it. Therefore, it won't happen.
Boss,
I love that.
amazing.
I hope it gets pushed through. And if it does get pushed through, I tell you what, it would go quite a long way to me personally, maybe thinking, all right, FSG have listened this time, because the Super League thing for me was a huge thing. So if they put this in and they actually allow the fans this veto, I have to say, mate, I would say, yeah, they've listened.
I'll have to happy Valentine's Day, because I'd have to give FSG the flowers, Craig. I absolutely would. That would be a phenomenal thing from them. Like, they shouldn't have done it in the first place. No one should get the over amount of credit for, sorting out a mess that you created. But you can still be like, well, at least you never took it further, and at least you never kept ignoring us, and you learn from your mistakes. Because FSG, they're not the worst owners in the world. When I critique FSG, I'm not saying the worst than Manchester United's or worse than whoever. There's much worse owners that we could possess, and that's one of the arguments that FSG inners proposed. They say, well, listen, could be worse. But just over the years, the signs of greed that they've shown, even from something as minor as the ticket prices a few seasons ago, like when the Sunderland game, when we had to boycott that, like all these things, it's just, it built up and built up and built up, and then the Super League was the one. That was the big, the judge putting the hammer down, or whatever the fuck that thing's called, you know what I mean? Like, that was where you realised, okay, you really probably don't care about the fans and the local fans as much as you say that you suggest. Like, this would prove that. This would prove, listen, we're listening to you. Even if that's not what we want to do, this is a club, this is much bigger than just FSG. This is much bigger than just any player, any individual, any manager. This is Liverpool Football Club. The most important thing is the fans, so we're going to listen to the fans. And listen, who knows better for Liverpool than the fans, than the ones who have been there week in, week out, even before FSG was there through all the shit times.
And the ones that'll be there, mate, when they're gone as well. When the owners move on, they'll still be there.
100. Oh my God, took the words right out of my mouth. The ones who are always going to stay. It just makes me think, if they do that, I will give them credit, because I think a lot of owners wouldn't give that sort of power to their fan base. So if they do that, all the credit to them. Yeah,
look, it's a massive what if at the minute, but as James said, for me, I would look at it as an okay, they've listened, they've done something proactive, because I didn't believe the apology. I won't lie to you, mate. I looked at that as a PR stunt.
Right. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I could talk you through that
like,
apology and tell you every detail of that.
Yeah, like, what can we do to give ourselves the best possible chance? Let's whack a few yellow flowers in the background. Yeah, it was daft, lads.
Yellow because it's a calming colour. The angle down on John W. Henry to make him look frail. Everything about that was complete and utter fake PR nonsense. But hang on, Connor's just sent me through something else here while we're live.
That
right, folks, get ready with your
way.
mad food combos, by the way, because we're moving on to that one in a second. So Borussia Dortmund are interested in Dusan Vlahovic as well. There was contact between Vlahovic and Dortmund. It's a mission impossible for Dortmund to get this 1-year-old striker. Asking price from Fiorentina is 80 million euros. And it goes on to say that Atletico Madrid tried and failed to get Vlahovic in the summer. I'll tell you what, he's not worth 80 million euro, mate. No, Dusan Vlahovic, not 80 million euro.
There's many other strikers and people that I'd rather spend 80 million euros on. I'd probably rather spend 80 million on Adeyemi, who's not even in as much of an established league as Vlahovic. Vlahovic is a good player, but for us, just not a fan of that at all. Like, if he was, in terms of the way he is stylistically, like, he's a proper goal scorer, don't get me wrong, but I just don't know if in the Liverpool team he would give us the best possible chance of success. And when you assess all the options of what we could go out and possibly get, I don't think he's number one. Like, I'd rather get Chiesa and stick him in the middle if that's the type of money that you're looking on spending. Or we can go back on the choo-choo train and go ahead and get a Jude Bellingham who for double that price. I'd rather get Jude Bellingham for 200 million than Vlahovic for that price. So
yeah,
no,
Chris, who works
might be on the
LFC
Jude Bellingham train, but not the Vlahovic one.
Yeah, Chris has done some good scouting on him, and I just doesn't think he fits. I'm trying to find a comment here, and if I find it, I'll be able to pull it up. But the question was, where is it? It was about you, and it was what's your go-to takeaway. Now, I'd like to credit the person, so if I can, I'll pull it up on the screen if I can find it.
Right, that's a phenomenal shout, and the phenomenal answer, or not so phenomenal answer, would be probably just a standard chippy, lads. I mean, there's a beautiful gaff locally by mine now that I've been ordering from recently. The pizza it just seems to taste more pure than Domino's. It's called Il Fornino. Amazing gaff. I just get a little standard barbecue chicken base along with some barbecue chicken wings. I'm a big barbecue fan. I have barbecue with most things. So do you know when it comes to the mad combos of foods, I probably can't think of a scran where I have a crazy combination, but just know most foods that I have will result with barbecue sauce on the plate.
Oh, I do love Liverpool sauce.
I bleed Liverpool red and I bleed barbecue sauce, Craig. So I even done a video on Instagram like 2 years ago or something like that when I was first a content creator, just talking about how amazing barbecue sauce is. I'll have to send it to you because I'm sure that you'll get a little laugh out of it. But yeah, barbecue sauce is my dream, lads.
Even on a pizza. So if you get a barbecue sauce base over tomato base,
absolutely every day. It's gorgeous. Oh, do you know,
my missus does it, to be fair.
Do you know when you call me a dirtbag for that? I look at that as like you know, a sexy dirtbag. Someone who's ruthless with their decision making. I'm ruthless when it comes to my pizza.
I know what I like, and I'm not apologising for it.
I'm not apologising for it. Listen, no regrets.
Look, I've got some mad food combos as well. Like, I used to do... My cousin actually had one that I thought was really weird. So we get a bread roll. He put pastry sausage rolls on it.
Yeah.
He'd get a bag of cheese and onion crisps. He'd crinkle them
sausage rolls on a bread roll?
With cheese and onion crisps and ketchup. Now, I won't lie. I've done the sausage roll on a roll thing. I have. I won't lie to you. It's delicious. But
a sausage roll... Like, let's just remove the ketchup and the cheese and onion crisp for a second, because that's a whole bunch of crazy. Did your ass just say you put a sausage roll, which is already in bread, and you put it on a piece of bread?
Motherfucker, I've put pies on bread. Do you know what I mean?
You know
if there's
crazy
pastry in there, pastry and meat, it's going on bread.
I can't even speak normal with what you have just said. You put bread on bread.
Yeah, look at me. Do I look like a man who doesn't do bread on bread?
That's madness to me. And then, like, not to mention, like, sauce and crisp in one.
No, I don't do the crisps. That's not me. That's the cousin. You know,
okay. So you're not that. So you're not that insane.
You obviously got batter burgers in the chippies over there.
Yeah.
Do you ever have a whirly burger? Maybe this is a
burger.
very Irish. So it's a batter burger on a bun. Oh, mate, with cheese. Oh, James, a batter burger on a bun with cheese, mate. It is the best hangover cure you'll ever have in your life because it's
Sounds
just
much more
so
nicer than what you've just suggested.
Oh,
Sounds
honestly,
way nicer than what you've just
it's
suggested.
delicious.
Listen, I can
It
run
is.
with that.
I thought it was just a Dublin thing at first, but now I've started to see it around Wexford as well. And are you a spice bag merchant? Because there's a lot of them around at the minute.
A what?
A spice bag merchant.
A spice bag?
Yeah. Tell me you're Chinese or chippy. So basically, it's with shredded chicken, chips, some like paprika-y, salt, some spicy stuff, veg. It's all the rage, James.
Have that.
All the rage.
Do you know what, I'm a very open-minded person when it comes to the scran. The only one that you've threw me off with so far was the cheese and onion in the tomato sauce. Otherwise,
that's not me. I want to make that abundantly clear. That's not me. I'm not on that train.
I was going to say that's up there with Paul Scholes sucking his daughter's toes, but no, that's great.
Strange. Oh,
it just doesn't get normal every time you say it, but it's funny as well, and it's great the way his name is Scholes because it just creates the perfect tune. But yeah, didn't that video actually? Do you know me saying Paul Scholes sucks his daughter's toes? Didn't that get like 100k on TikTok?
Yeah, I told you, man. You need to get on TikTok. It's me and you are made for TikTok. It's perfect.
Especially our watch-alongs.
Here's one from our good friend Liz in America. And Liz says, where's it gone? Spaghetti and meatball sandwiches with mozzarella cheese. Now, doesn't sound a million miles away from a meatball marinara from Subway, just a little bit of spaghetti. And I do love a meatball marinara.
I love a meatball marinara. That's my favourite thing from Subway. I'm not going to lie to you, Craig. Have we just had a Spider-Man moment? Like, we're the same on that, we agree, boss.
Would you go this far? Would you walk into Subway, go, I'll have a meatball marinara? They go, there's no meatballs. Turn around, 180 out the door, because I'm not getting anything else. It's that or nothing for me in Subway.
No, honestly, a meatball marinara is my go-to. Like, I might have a little look, but luckily, every time I've gone into Subway, that's the first thing they've got. Otherwise, I don't look at the rest of the menu. It's that good, with the melted cheese and the crusty Italian bread or whatever it's called. It's amazing, lad. So yeah, I'm on that choo-choo train.
What are we saying to this one? Eggs on a burger?
Eggs on a burger, not a chance. That is a disgrace. That is, lock them up and throw away the key, I say.
My question there is, are we talking runny yolk or a hard yolk? Because I think,
it doesn't matter. I don't care if we're talking about friggin' whatever oak, the white bit, the yellow bit in the middle. Like, don't be getting that on a burger. That's a
so that's a massive no. Because I've sat there while my missus has had a burger with pineapple and egg. So that's what I have to live through, James. This is my life, pal. You know what I mean? Day to day, I'm looking at this. Cousins who are eating sausage rolls and crisps, and a wife. And look, my son, mate. My son, every single day has a bagel with cheese, mayonnaise, ketchup, and butter. And and he drinks Pepsi Max. Oh, the shit.
Nah, do you know what though? The mayonnaise. No, do you know the mayonnaise and the ketchup? I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of going to have to vouch for your son. That's a phenomenal combination. Don't
Heinz have like a ketchup or whatever it's called? Like, it's a bottle that is a mixture.
It's a thing, and if they don't have it as a thing, they need to make it a thing, because ketchup and mayonnaise is a great combination. It might just
hear
be...
my wife bowling down the stairs now to holler. I'm not joking, watch.
No.
Sorry, Sabrina? What was that? It's called saucy sauce, apparently.
Saucy sauce.
I know it as Mary Rose sauce. You know what I mean? It used to be onion and a prawn cocktail back in the day.
Yeah, because every grown should go into a shop saying, "Can I have some saucy sauce?"
Oh, look, hang on.
Let's have a look. Oh, is that what it is? Is that the mayonnaise and the ketchup combined?
Yep.
That's what I was going to say. That's a better combination than Sturridge and Suarez in 13-14. A phenomenal combination. Very underrated as well, by the way.
Yeah, my missus loves it. That and burger sauce, she's all over it.
You miss it. She's smashed it. Honestly, Sabrina's killed it there.
Yeah, she loves the taco chips as well. She absolutely loves the taco chips. That wouldn't be... I'm a pussy. I eat a lot of plain food. I don't like ketchup. For me, curry sauce is pushing the boat out. Do you know what I mean? That's me really being exhausted. On a pizza, what's your go-to pizza?
It's a barbecue based, like chicken barbecue based. I love that. Like, I don't mind a pepperoni as well, but barbecue based is the one for me. Like, some people say that's weird, but those who love a barbecue based pizza love barbecue based pizza. I'm one of those people. Do you know what's funny as well? Can I just say something, Craig? Do you know the more that I get to know about Sabrina? Is it Sabrina? Because I don't want to get her name wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sabrina, like, bless her, like, she's amazing. She makes me laugh. That was hilarious. I've just nearly died when she shouted that up.
I showed you her tattoo as well that she's getting the other day.
Amazing. What's the little puppy or whatever it's
Elmo.
called? You know, the red thing? Elmo, that made me cry. Is that a new one or an old one?
No, it's a brand new. She's only 40 years of age. She said, I want to get a sleeve. I said, you fucking have at it, love. I'm fully behind this.
The more that I get to know you, I was thinking, whoever Craig's with, like, surely he's crazier than whoever he's with, and she's the one who's, like, that keeps him calm and whatnot. No, like, you two are just as crazy as each other, and it's amazing, honestly.
She's one of these people, crazier. She's really quiet until you get to know her, and then she's Looney Tunes in a good way.
And she's out
in
there.
A good way. Yeah. She's the only person in this world I'm scared of as well. let me put that out there.
I mean, especially if she's watching.
She's always watching, Jess. She's always watching.
She's always watching me, man.
Here's me. There you go. No veg, thanks.
No veg.
Just takes up chip space.
Do you know what, though, Craig? I respect the fact that you're not that much of a sauce man, because it means that your taste buds can embrace the amazingness of foods. I feel like that's one downside to me having barbecue sauce a lot, because I think it ruins the actual getting to taste the food part, and mainly you just.
That's why I love a cheese pizza, because I think if a pizzeria can nail an old margarita, then they've got it going on. If they can get that spot on, basic ingredients, that's it. There's an Irish show called bollocks, what's it called? The Hardy Books, and I remember watching one of the episodes where they went into the Chinese. And I just thought, this is so me. So he asked him for, let's just say it was a chicken curry. And he said, I'll have a side salad of chips. And I just thought, that's it. A side salad of chips. No salad, just the chips.
Just the chips. But get salad in there anyway. It makes your brain trick yourself into being healthier.
See, I don't believe that anybody really likes salad. I say this to my wife all the time. She would eat salad
I love a good bit of lettuce.
Every day of the week.
I love a good bit of lettuce.
I don't get it. I can get it for texture maybe, but I don't get it.
I think, do you know what it is? I think it's because it's like a more watery food. So like do you know people who like the pure food? Like, you know, the shit that you're eating isn't greasy. It's like, you know, it's something different. It's more just, like I said, healthy. So maybe certain things, but again, I'm not a big veggie man. I'm probably making it sound like that I eat vegetables on a day-to-day basis. The only time I eat vegetables is when I get fucking lettuce on a chicken wrap. That's probably maybe the only time that I'll eat vegetables. Maybe it's some cucumbers sometimes. I like a good cucumber. Otherwise, I'm not even a big vegetable man, so.
I don't even like popcorn. I just feel it's a waste of time chewing when it could have been crisps.
Toffee popcorn, boss. Sweet popcorn, boss.
Okay, I will admit that there's a bag of Manhattan white cheddar popcorn, which is quite nice, but outside of that, like, I'm not going into the cinema and getting a thing of popcorn. It's just not happening. You know what I mean?
No, that's a necessity for me.
No,
that's 100%.
You get the nachos, surely.
Chicken fillet roll.
Why are you shouting chicken fillet roll?
Because I fucking asked you.
But is there a question there, or are we just throwing out a statement?
I think she's trying to like make you realise that's the one that you should be suggesting on your live.
I think she asked in the chat, do our chicken fillet rolls a thing over in Liverpool? Because over here, every deli has a chicken fillet rolls are an Irish institution.
I'm sure it could be. We might give it a different name, but if it's an Irish thing, it might not be. So I'm not too sure. I've never had one myself, but I'd be very open-minded to everyone having one now that Sabrina's suggested it.
Oh, you can't move, mate, over here for a chicken fillet roll. It's every petrol station even.
When I come to Ireland, I want you to give me some, like, I want to make sure when we go out and we go for a meal or whatever, an Anfield's agenda meal, that we go for a notorious Irish scran. I don't want none of this, like, normal stuff.
I know where to bring it already, mate. Don't worry, I've got you sorted.
I want to embrace the culture. Because a lot of people as well, do you know, when I get recognised on the streets and whatnot, a lot of people who notice me as Irish, because of course the fan base for Liverpool and Ireland is massive. So it's always like it's only encouraged me even more to want to go to Ireland, on top of how much I already wanted to anyway. But when I do go, I want to like really embrace the culture. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to have all the Irish foods. Yeah, fine. I mean, I'm not a big
Soup being Guinness.
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah. I was gonna say, sweet if soup's the way you party over there, but yeah, Guinness.
I've got this dream. I want to do, and I've been saying this to Connor for 2 years. I want to do. There's a venue in Dublin called Vicar Street. It's my favourite venue in Dublin, and I want to do an Anfield Agenda live podcast / music / comedian, but for charity. I want to do it in Vicar Street, and that's a goal I've always had to do, like just to raise money for Pieta House or suicide prevention
good
charity.
night out as well. Like, would you have people there, like a little crowd and whatnot?
Oh, full on boss night rip off. Do you know what I mean? I'd be trying to get Jamie Webster over. I'd be like full on proper. I think it holds 1,200 people. Like, so it'd be a big job trying to fill it. You know what I mean?
That'd be a lovely party.
It'd be a fucking delicious party. Right, some more of these. Oh, here's one that I think has been doing the rounds a lot. Where is it? This one. Dipping fries in a vanilla milkshake.
No, people. I have an ex-girlfriend that I was with in high school who's done that, and we're not together no more.
Why is it that all, let's say, young ladies, because I don't want to put an age bracket on this, why do they still go into McDonald's, mate, as women or young ladies and have a Happy Meal?
Do they?
Well, certainly over here, yeah. I don't
know.
I'm the type of fucker that goes into McDonald's and goes, give me 2 double cheeseburgers, 20 nuggets, large fries, and a Diet Coke, because somehow that makes up for it all.
I am on that train, baby. 20 chicken nuggets, 2 burgers, and fries. That is exact. Like, do you know when I'm feeling like a proper McDonald's and I'm really, really hungry? That's what I get. I mean, I get the barbecue sauce besides the curry dip. Otherwise, identical orders. McDonald's that's my go-to on a hangover. That's the one that I think is the most ideal. But I do not like a McDonald's. Say if I haven't had a McDonald's in like a month or 2 months, like a good while, the first McDonald's back, that can be a nightmare. And let's just say my toilet will have a trip to deal with for a good hour or two after that first Mackey's, especially if it's that order, 20 chicken nuggets. But that's the one that I get every single time.
Have you ever had coddle?
A coddle? No. Is that a Dublin coddle, so I'm assuming that's Irish?
Yeah, it's like boiled sausage, potato, white sauce. It's like a soup, but it's made with sausage and it's fucking horrendous. I don't like, my missus loves it, but yeah, it's not great. I won't lie to you.
I'm gonna take your word for it and never eat that in my life. Because it didn't sound appetizing when you were naming the ingredients, so...
It's not. It really isn't. It isn't. Right, what else? A few more before we finish up. What else we got in the chat? They don't have curry dip in Mackey's in America.
Craig, I need my ma to make you some of her homemade scouse.
Oh, I love a stew, yeah. I love a stew.
Oh, it's boss. It's boss. I mean, call it scouse when you're talking to me, because it's just...
You fucking robbed it off us. It's stew. It's Irish stew, mate. You can lace this shit up any way you want. If your mum's handed it up to me, I'll call it scouse every day of the week as I'm putting the salt on it, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Genuinely one of my favourite glands ever. Like, when she says that we're making a scouse, I'm like, yes. Because the thing about it as well, you can do refills. Do you know what I mean? It's like a little buffet.
Oh, the next day in the pot, the next day.
It's a joke.
Reheating it and it gets thicker and you get the bread out then.
And I love it. I love every second of it. The soup you're right, the soup gets thicker and all the meats and the potatoes and the carrots. Perfect combination.
And you know what? I've moved out of home a long time, but the last stew I had was probably 20-something years ago. My mum made it because it is a pain in the hole to make a scouse or a stew, to do it properly. And you know, oh man, mothers are just amazing. Let me just put that out there.
Yes, Mama Redmond makes a mean scouse.
Yeah, nothing ever beats a mother's cooking. Nothing. You know, that's what we compare everything to, isn't it? We go out for a meal, everything is compared to Mammy's cooking. Everything.
Yeah. And if it's not as good as Mammy's cooking, then fucking hell, why am I paying them money?
Exactly. God bless mothers everywhere. They're absolutely amazing. Innit? Lentil soup. It's a bit high caliber this for me now, but...
God knows what that is. That just sounds like that you're putting a little bit of that lent, do you know, the metal or whatever it is in soup. Yeah, that's all that came to mind. I don't know what lentil is. Never heard of lentil before.
Have you had a battered Mars bar? Here's one for you. Have you had a battered Mars bar?
I've had a Mars bar, not battered.
Have you not had a bar? I thought this was taking the piss until I went into a chipper in Dublin. Actually going to a gig in Vicar Street, funny enough. And I went to a chipper, and I seen it on the menu, and I thought, I have to do this. I have to try it. And do you know what? It was fucking nice. It was nice.
So, what's a battered Mars bar? Is it where a bunch of Snickers just go and jump a Mars bar so it's battered?
Yeah, you have to have your back turned so you can't see what's going on in case they need to file a police report or anything.
Makes sense.
That's basically a deep fried Mars bar in batter, like you'd have when you're battered sausage.
To be fair, it actually sounds nice. I
It's
reckon that
gorgeous.
I love the insides of a Mars bar, so I'd be willing to try that.
It's one of I love going to America because they know how to make food in America, man. Like deep fried Oreos and all this mad shit.
Yeah, that's like diabetes level stuff. It looks nice, but I even saw because Expressions is in America right now. Like I saw them walk into a market and the sweets, like the size of the boxes of all the sugary stuff that they've got there, and like the size of the chocolate bars, it's insane. In fact, like he saw water. And it was like $2.79, and then there's a packet of Oreos or something like that for like £1. And I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, this America is absolutely crazy. He's in New York, isn't he?
I remember being in Miami on my honeymoon with my missus and was dying with a hangover and said my body needs something good here, so I'm gonna go down and get a smoothie. So I walked down to Bayside in Miami, and I went down and I said, "Can I have whatever?" I'm sure there was mango and strawberry, and I said, "Can I have a smoothie?" And I'll never forget this, mate. They turned around and said to me, "Do you want it with or without sugar?" It's like, fucking hell, I'm dying here. I'm trying to give my body back some type of nutrients and make myself. And you're asking me, "Do I want fucking sugar in a smoothie?" I couldn't believe it.
What type of a stupid question is that?
And another one. I was in Canada and I went into a place called Swiss Chalet, and all they did was chicken. And I said to her, "Can I have a chicken sandwich?" And she said to me, "Do you want white meat for 50 cents extra?" And I said, "What type of fucking weird ass chickens do you have?" Because where I come from, chicken is white. Obviously, they meant leg meat. You know what I mean? But me in my naive young state didn't realize that you have to pay extra for white chicken. Apparently, so there you go.
You learn something new every day on the Anfield Agenda streams. That's for sure.
Oh, here's one. Paper straws are shit. You're spot on.
Oh, don't even start. You don't end the stream on a negative like that. Paper straws
They are
the
awful, aren't they?
single
They are
worst invention.
awful.
Honestly, I've never hated turtles more. It's like, what, we're doing this for turtles? It's like, just God, it's stupid. Like, I remember when paper straws first came out, and then I went to Amsterdam probably like 6 months or a year after that they first got announced. When we went to Amsterdam, there was no paper straws, and it reminded me how boss it is to not have a paper straw, and now everywhere has them. Like, it started off with McDonald's, and then pubs start doing it now and shit like that, and it's just, why are you doing that to us?
Useless.
You don't need to.
My missus got loads of the metal ones, so she always has them in her bag at this point, which is great.
Yeah, a great investment, because you can't be using, like, especially for the strawberry milkshake or something like that from McDonald's.
Yeah, you can't be messing about with no paper straw there. You need proper jaw action for them. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, because of how friggin' thick they are, especially. But the paper gets all soggy. It then starts breaking off. Like, I remember one time I pulled a straw out from a milkshake that I left there for about maybe an hour. So the milkshake was kind of melted, but I pulled it out. At the bottom of the straw, all the bits, it looked like someone had bitten the bottom of the straw. So I'm like, I've got pieces of paper sitting in my milkshake.
Some turtle breaking their bollocks laughing at you somewhere, James.
Oh my goodness, just like, what a bushwanker this fella is, just like you said, laughing at me ass. Oh, terrible, mate.
Here's a couple from the American side of the world. Well, Larry's from Canada, so quick one on this one.
Out to the
HB brown sauce, yes or no?
Not a big fan, but I'm not opposed to it. If someone has it, then I don't judge them.
I like brown sauce, just don't like HP. I like Chef brown sauce. I think it's an Irish thing, but it's better. And here's a good one. Again, I was saying earlier on, deep fried Twinkies or deep fried ice cream.
Twinkies are nice. I've watched comedy films where they have Twinkies and it looks nice in the film, so...
Twinkies would survive a nuclear holocaust. It would be them and cockroaches, mate, that would be left. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers never go out of date. They're around forever.
Just there. It's just like, this one is from 1979. Here you go.
They're absolutely top. I fully agree with Alan there. Anything sugary and deep fried, I'm on board with. I won't lie. I don't have a sweet tooth. I have a fat tooth.
I have a fat. Yeah. You know what? That makes a lot of sense, to be fair. Probably now makes me realise why I always want to fucking have sugar in my system. Every 2 seconds, I don't stop. Especially recently, my immune system must be so shit. Because of the amount of sugar I've been consuming recently, Craig, has been a joke. Absolute
Me and my
joke.
missus are an ideal combo. You know, when you go out and there's a set dinner, 3 courses for whatever it is, like 20 quid or whatever it might be. I don't eat starters because they're usually like prawns or salad, and she's not mad on desserts. So she has 2 starters and then I have 2 desserts. But you know what? She always fancies the dessert when it comes out, and that annoys me because I'm after sacrificing the starter that I wasn't going to eat anyway. And then she's looking at the dessert, eyeing them up, and I'm like, honestly, fuck you.
I'm actually not even a big dessert person. I'm not a huge. I think, do you know what it is? I think because Sabrina will not be a dessert person, but she wouldn't mind a few bites. And
she'd love a cheese board. She'd be one of them. She'd get a cheese board in a heartbeat. Loves her cheese.
Yeah, no, I get that as well. I like a good cheesecake. I love a good cheesecake. Yeah, I've even got one downstairs waiting for me, to be dead honest.
I've an apple crumble.
Oh yeah, no, my mum loves an apple crumble like more than anything in this world.
A little bit of a tip: if you're making an apple crumble, small bit of demerara sugar on the top, kind of caramelizes, goes brown. It's nice.
Add a sugar.
A demerara or brown sugar if you haven't got demerara, but yeah, caramelizes and it's nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is nice.
There we go. Look, we're gonna finish up there because I'm starving.
I'm dead hungry. I was thinking that, I was like, I've been thinking about my cheesecake for the last 10 minutes.
Look, it's been loads of fun. I appreciate James coming on again.
That.
And again, for those who are coming in late, delighted to say you're going to see James more often on Anfield Agenda because we're here to give the people what they want, James.
It's going to be sick. Made up, lads. Thank you very much for another good show. Really enjoyed it. Now I can go to sleep. Starving.
Probably can't when you get that sugar into you, mate. You'll be bouncing off the walls.
I'll be all over the gaff. We'll be there messaging each other at 12, just planning on what we're going to be doing next week for shows.
Photos of food everywhere. Just photos of food all over the place.
Hey, what did you have after the stream then?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you to our sponsors, Manscaped. Don't forget, 20% off with our discount code
WFM20, motherfuckers.
There you go. And free shipping as well. Thank you to James. Have a lovely weekend. I won't be live at all tomorrow, but I will see you guys on Sunday. And James, always a pleasure, my man. Thank you, folks. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.